So last year I got involved in this Dial2Do company, and we are a hands-free phone service. We're basically targeting users who spend time in their car and who want to make more productive use of that time in their car using our hands-free services. So here's the problem we're looking at is people spend time in their cars. You know, the exact statistics are unimportant, but globally people spend a lot of time in their car. But particularly in North America, people have commuting time to work, and also as part of work, they spend a lot of time in their cars. And there's two things right now that they do with that time. They listen to the radio. That's the number one thing that across the entire user base people will do. And the second thing they do very commonly is they use it to make mobile phone calls. And the statistics are kind of incredible, but true, that 60% of mobile minutes are actually initiated from the car. Now, there's a couple of things happening. First of all, of course, there's some hands-free legislation coming, and it's here in California quite soon, and it's in Washington State, and it's in New York already, and throughout the US, there's hands-free legislation coming in that says, you know what, maybe you should have two hands on the wheel while you're driving your car. So this is, if you like, at a macro level, the trend that we're riding on. So while people find it easy to make phone calls in their car, the hard thing is to do other stuff that you typically like to do if you actually have your mobile web browser or you have your desktop web browser. So messaging services, email, SMS, recording little reminders for yourself, finding out various short pieces of information that you'd like to do while driving in your car, things that are just difficult to do hands-free, and that's what we do. We have a hands-free service that allows you to phone up, talk to us, say what you want to get done, and we do it without you having to take your hands off the wheel of the car. So we start with some basic, simple services. The way it works is you don't have to install anything on your phone. We just send you a phone number. And that phone number, if you like, becomes a magic number or a convenience number in your life. And we think of it a little bit like 411. Everybody likes 411, and they like free 411 now. And that's a number that everybody knows, and they use it with differing frequency. We think that Dial2Do, we can make a convenience number that you phone once, maybe twice, maybe several times a day to do things while you're driving along. So it could be something simple like this example, where you phone up and you say, text Dave, and then you say what you want to go to Dave, and then we convert what you said into a text message and we deliver it. So you're able to send a short message without ever your hand leaving the wheel. Other simple things we do, like, I don't know about you, but when I'm driving along, I have my best thoughts. And they never get written down because I don't like to write myself while I'm driving. So those best thoughts are now captured with Dial2Do. So I just phone up and I say a reminder, and I say whatever great thought I had, and then when I get to my desk, it's there waiting for me. So a very simple, convenient service for the end user. The other types of area, and we'll see it's broader than just these initial services, but the other thing which we've done is we've done some of the social media and blogging sites, like for example Twitter. So if you're driving along and the traffic is particularly heavy and you feel like sharing that with the world, you can just phone Dial2Do and go, Twitter, I hate this traffic. And now the world and all your fans on Twitter will hear about that. In fact, we have that as part of Dial2Do, and what we have found interesting, we're currently in private beta, so we've got some users trying this out. We're looking and learning at precisely how they use the service, and in particular, what's the kind of adoption curve for a particular user. And they'll typically start with something simple, like, for example, Twitter has been quite good for us, or Reminder. And then they'll typically just do one thing during a phone call, but over a period of time, they'll actually hit that number, and then they'll go, Twitter, I'm in traffic, Reminder, get a faster car, or whatever. And they'll do several things during one phone call. We just announced today a partnership with Jaja. So Jaja is a low-cost calling phone company, basically an internet phone company that have 10 million users throughout the globe. And we have now done a partnership with Jaja that basically voice activates Jaja. So if you're one of those 10 million users and you're driving along in your car and you want to make a phone call, a conference call, or a Jaja text message, you just phone the number and you say, Jaja call, home, and then it connects you and looks after all that. So really what we're doing is we've got a collection of services. We're starting with a small number, but over time this number becomes quite a wide, broad array of services that as a hands-free user driving along in your car, you can use to both be more productive and also to fill that time when you're in your car. On the Jaja one, in fact, because I live in Dublin, Ireland right now, currently, so for example, I use it a lot when I'm here to make phone calls home, and particularly if I'm driving along, it adds to the safety factor. Some of the services are like email and messaging type services. Some actually allow me to dial up and listen for content. So for example, if I have a particular RSS feed with sports or breaking news, I can just set it up on the Dial2Do website, and now anytime I call up, I can actually just say sports, and then I can get that RSS feed read out to me on the phone. So we're making it into feel like an overall hands-free experience that, as I said earlier, you start with something simple, and over time, the utility and the value to you as a consumer goes up. I won't dwell on this too much. This is what we call the science bit, but basically the end consumer doesn't care about any of this stuff, but we do. So what we're doing is we're making a hosted service. That's really what we're doing. I suppose to be trendy, we could say voice as a service, but really what we're doing is we're providing a hosted platform, and we're working with partners to voice activate their services on our platform. And over time, that will become, as I said, a wider array of services. Built into that is monetization. So right now it's free, but actually over time, for some of the services, we'll be able to charge our users and have a collection mechanism to provide and share revenue with our partners. In terms of our route to market, right now, like I said, we're in private beta. The nice thing about what we do is there are tons of people that we can partner with, and there are tons of people who have millions and tens of millions of users that we can partner with. So people like Jaja, and so we work with companies like that to voice activate their services and bring their users to our service. So we hope to snag some of those Jaja users, for example, as Dial2Do users. And that's a good way to get started. Of course, a lot of the services are inherently viral, so if I send you a text message from Dial2Do, it actually says sent with Dial2Do at the bottom of the message, similarly email and a lot of the other services. It's what we call, if you like, an over-the-top service. So right now, we didn't have to partner with any carriers per se, we just have delivered this service over the top. So you go to our website, you sign up, we text you a phone number, and now you're good to go. But actually, interestingly enough, and we've signed our first ISP, or if you like, telco deal, because it does make a good partnership opportunity for carriers. It's just they're a little hard to sell to, and anybody who's done that will know that. The other partners who we are lining up are people who sell to hands-free users, so people who sell headsets and hands-free kits for cars. So these are people who typically sell one plastic item in a box for maybe $30 to $50 and then have no ongoing relationship with their customers. So we're looking at white labeling service and partnering with people who are in that arena. The business model is free right now, so you can come to our site. Anybody who wants to, I can give them an invite code afterwards. But it's what we call a two-sided business model. So yeah, there's an option to charge users for some of the services over time. It'll always be free to some level. And there are also opportunities for us to sell keywords, like for example, if you want to get a hotel and you phone the number and you say hotel, we won't do the booking or do any of the information provision, but we'll sell that hotel keyword to somebody who wants to get to our Dial2Do users looking for hotels. Competitors, the obligatory competitor slide, you could twist this a number of different ways. They tend to come from people who are focused on the voice recognition or the voice to text conversion problem set. And what we're doing is providing an eyes-free service. So a lot of these tend to focus on putting something on your phone that allows you to talk to your phone, and then you see what's going to get sent, and then you correct it and you check it and then you hit OK. We don't do that. We don't put anything on your phone. It's just a phone number, so it's completely hands-free and eyes-free. The second group are people like Spinbox and Phone Tag and people like that, and Jot and Callwave, who are focused on voice-to-text type services. We're not just voice-to-text, it's a more interactive two-way service. Let's get this one. Basically, our goal is our metric is, if you like, to get people phoning our number. Our goal is to build a destination phone number that has people calling us every day, once, twice a day. We think if we can do that, we'll have a compelling offering for the end consumer. We think it's a big opportunity. We think that if you look at something like 411, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry, we think we've got something that we can make as habit-forming and as beneficial and as valuable to the end user and as something like that. So it's a good opportunity. We're at the early stage. We're spinning it out. We've bootstrapped it so far from another business, and we're spinning it out into a separate business. And we're looking to organize our first round of funding. Nobody in any of your presentations I had earlier asked for any money. What is it with that? so I'll take any money that's floating around the place. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you afterwards.